Lien was already paralyzed by fear at this time. She could vaguely realize that after her nephew had endured Charlie's 12 sounds, she would be the one who is unlucky next. Horiah wanted to slip away quickly, but was soon brought back by one of Mr. Orville's younger brothers who pointed a gun to his head, and was kicked to the ground. The black muzzle pointed at her forehead and frightened her to death. At this time, Ron had already endured 11 rings. At this time, his 10 fingers on both hands were as soft as beans hanging from a vine, and none of his 10 fingers could move. Now he only has his left wrist to move. Charlie said to him, "Come on, it's the last one." Ron was so painful that he couldn't kneel anymore. He could only let Charlie grab his left wrist and break his wrist directly. 12 rings. Ron howled in pain. He knew that he would be a useless person in the future. 10 fingers and 2 wrists were all useless. What else could he do in the future? Continue to mix in the society? Can he still hold a knife? If he won't be hacked to death by the enemy, it's already burning incense, right? Charlie squatted down at this time, looked at Ron, and said coldly, "You still have 2 legs and 2 feet, so if you don't answer my question well in the future, I will give you 12 more rings." Ron's face was pale as frost, and he said in despair, "No matter what questions you ask, I will answer them seriously." Charlie nodded, glanced at the trembling Horiah and Lien, and said coldly, "You tell me clearly what was going on today here, dare to miss any details, don't ask for your 2 legs, start now." When Ron heard this, he panicked and hurriedly pointed at Lien and said, "Mr. Wade, that's my second aunt. She called me yesterday and said that she was going to set up a bureau for a woman and set her up. Big money, let me come over and sing blackface when the time comes, so I agreed." After speaking, Ron hurriedly said again, "Mr. Wade, I was really taken advantage of." Charlie glanced at Lien, and Lien was frightened. Charlie pointed at her and beckoned, "You, come here." Lien did not dare to neglect, and hurriedly crawled to the front, and said tremblingly, "Mr. Wade, a misunderstanding. I didn't know that Elaine is your mother-in-law, who gave me 10,000 courage. I dare not lie to her, right?" After she finished speaking, she pointed to Horiah and blurted out, "This stinky lady named Horiah is hurting me. She said that her younger siblings are very rich and terrible, so she always wanted to teach her. Just ask me to make a round with her, wanting to win your mother-in-law's villa." Horiah was also frightened and hurriedly said, "Charlie, this is a misunderstanding. I didn't want to lie to your mother-in-law. I was also deceived by this Lien. Lien seemed to behave badly in front of me all day long. I think it's true that I can't play. I want to bring your mother-in-law over to make a fortune, but I didn't expect it, but was cheated by her." When Elaine heard this, she scolded angrily, "Horiah, you B*TCH still want to lie to my money and villa?" Horiah was clever. She stepped back and waved her hand. "Don't talk nonsense, I don't have one." Lien cursed coldly, "Do you dare to deny it? Okay, then I will show Mr. Wade to see our chat history." After speaking, she quickly took out her mobile phone, opened WeChat, and played a voice. In the voice, Horiah's voice came, "Sister Lien, I heard you have returned to Orus Hill?" Lien's voice followed, "Yes, I just came back 2 days ago." Horiah, "Sister Lien, you have been a croupier in Macau casinos for so many years. You must have a good job at the table, right?" Lien, "I dare not dare. I can barely rank in the top 5 in Macau, but in Orus Hill, I dare to say that there is no one I can't win." Horiah, "That's already amazing. Sister Lien, I have a way to make a fortune. I wonder if you are interested?" Lien, "You probably introduce it." Horiah, "I have a younger sister, who is quite rich. The villa of Thompson's first-rate house is worth more than 100 million, and this stupid dog is addicted to gambling. Some are means. How about I call her over, you set up a round and win her a good deal?" Lien, "A villa worth more than 100 million? Is it true?" Horiah, "It's true." Lien, "That's okay, but after it's done, I want 60%. Horiah, "No problem. You will be 6 and I will be 4. When the voice was played, Horiah was already frightened. She hurriedly said to Charlie, "Charlie, I didn't mean it, I am your big aunt, we are all a family." Charlie looked at her and said lightly, Let's talk about your business later. After speaking, let someone drag her aside. Afterwards, he looked at Lien, smiled and asked, I heard that your 1,000 skills are very powerful? Lien hurriedly explained, Mr. Wade, in fact, 1,000 skills are little tricks for cheating, and I only know a little bit of fur. Charlie nodded and asked, how did you mainly cheat in this case today? Lien hurriedly explained, this mahjong machine is customized. I can directly preset all the cards from the 4 companies in the computer in advance, and then start it with my mobile phone at any time. When the mahjong machine automatically shuffles the cards, we'll follow my request, shuffle the cards, and then rise up. After that, she further explained, when the time comes, I will use the software to control the number of dice, and specify who will take which card. I will give your mother-in-law several cards from the sky, but they are all dead ends. It's a card that can't be won in a lifetime, plus Horaya and Nivea cooperate with me, so I won't lose even more. After listening to her, Charlie nodded lightly and asked, how many people have you harmed with this method? Lien hurriedly said, not much, not much. I don't usually do this kind of thing. Charlie frowned and asked, how many gamblers did you help the casino win in Macau? Among these gamblers, how many people went bankrupt, sold children and sold girls, or even died?